Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A, where we go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile and tech and answer your questions live. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Alright guys, so there is a bit of news this week. Hopefully you guys did have a great Thanksgiving in the US, and as well, of course, Black Friday, which hopefully you bought everything you wanted to. Cyber Monday is coming up. Most of the deals that I did for Black Friday are still until Cyber Monday, just so you know. But let me know if you guys are looking for anything today, and I can look up on Amazon, Best Buy, Newegg, and see who has the best deals for what you're looking for. But without further ado, let's get to the news. All right, so first and foremost, we have a bit of news going on right now, and that is with the Galaxy S24 Ultra leaking. And this looks legit. It is on track if it is coming out in January for prototypes to be out this early. So, yeah, this looks like it could be a legit item. And I mean, it looks obviously very similar to everything else we've seen from Samsung in the past, so there's no real reason to deny it, kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, this is no way it looks very similar. Like if I look at my Galaxy S23, which I think I have with me, yeah, this is pretty much the same. The interesting thing about this one is that they don't look like to change the camera interface, which I find that to be a little peculiar, just because as they did with the S22 Ultra and S23, they did change the camera layout so that you would have to get a different case. This one, it looks like it wouldn't do that, so I don't know if I believe it that much, but let me know what you guys think. And yeah, it looks a bit more squarish, which we've been hearing that a lot, that it's going to be even more square-like. Um, it also looks like the display is pretty much flat. It doesn't look like to have almost any curvature really on it. So yeah, it is very simple and easy. You know, one thing I always have wondered, why they have this little gap thing here. Like, I don't know if it's from a bygone era, if they're reusing it with other sides that have SD card slots, but it's just always a very interesting thing for me. Like, yeah, I don't. I've always like, what is that there per se? Is it an add-on at the end with maybe the Wi-Fi and antenna? I'm not sure. I'm very always kind of a little bit curious about that. Maybe I need to look at the teardown for it and kind of see what exactly is in that area. And then we have a bit of other news, and this one is a little bit disappointing. And the big thing that I think everyone will want to see, right? This image gives me so much joy, like so much joy, to have an S Pen built in to a Galaxy a Fold 6. However, it is looking like the next fold is going to focus on being thinner, which would eliminate thing, the possibility of an S Pen built inside. This really sucks to me just because, God, I really would love to have an S Pen inside. I can't tell you how much. Like, having an S Pen built in to the Fold just makes so much sense to me that I just wish it would have it. Like, it would be the best thing ever for me. I really would want to have it. So hearing this, to me what would make the Fold sell double, straight up double what the Fold 5 did, which I know didn't sell well, but regardless, it would sell double if they gave us a better camera and if they gave us an S Pen built in. I think those two things would make it sell so much more. Not only that though, but like if you hit even the third, which the third is a bigger battery, if you hit 2 out of the 3 of these, Samsung, I promise you, you will sell at least 2 million more units easily. But it's looking like they're going for thinner, you know. And don't get me wrong, like I really am impressed every time I pick up the OnePlus Open, how light it is. It is so light, and I do like that about it. But is it something I need? No. The OnePlus Open to me is still plagued by issues when it comes to the software that kind of messes me over with it, but we'll see if it I'm hoping a software update will fix a lot of these issues. None has come out yet to actually fix it, but it's just one thing I'm hoping that we end up getting with this one per se. But as of right now, the Fold 6 is a hope. But very curious to see what will happen. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Yeah. All right, and then there is the new thing, which is bringing more and more that Samsung is going full AI next year. The S24 is being called an AI phone, from what we're hearing right now. And Samsung just did trademark a few things, and that is the Magic Pixel Flex, and Flex Magic, or sorry, Flex Magic, and then Flex Magic Pixel. So we're curious to see what these kind of things happen. A lot of people do believe it has to deal with the 3D displays that you're going to be getting with these smart glasses. In terms of AR glasses, Samsung, the Galaxy glasses that have been registered as well. I am curious to see what it turns into, but you guys know I am looking for the AR glasses, not the XR glasses. So there's two versions that are being worked on right now, as far as I know. The XR version is going to be the competitor to Apple's. I forgot what their one is called. I really don't care anymore. Their their VR device, or XR device, which gives you augmented reality and virtual reality. The one that I really care about is smart glasses, which will be AR based and looks like regular glasses and have a display in them. That is the goal. It was what I loved a couple years back for Focals by North, and it's what I truly do believe will eventually replace smartphones. I still think we're 5 to 10 years away from those things replacing smartphones if the technology can get in there. But we haven't even started yet, so maybe it's just a prolonged effect. But I think there would be such a huge rise in the industry, even more so than smartphones, once that is done correctly. But very curious to see what the AR features that Samsung is really going to put in this phone. There have been things that I always tell you guys about, good lock features, right? Samsung has these different apps that give you abilities that don't come with your Galaxy phones. So one that's been getting some recent attention, which maybe I should do a full-on video of it. I've touched on it before, but is the Galaxy Enhance X, which is an app that essentially is an AI based app for your photos. Now, it does an okay job. It's essentially doing AI to improve the tools for it. So you can just, much like Google's Pixel, you can tap Magic and see what it will do for it. Like, you can just see, like, it's trying to figure out what's the best thing to do for it. And, like, in this case, it really brightened the photo. So, brighten the photo in terms of it. Let me see if I can turn it down so to kind of show you guys a little bit better. But like in this case, oops, brightened the photo. You can kind of see it was dark before, brightened it. And that's really what it's done in this one, which is great. Yeah, sure, I can keep that. But you can increase the resolution. You can do all these kind of fun tricks. So it's really kind of, one thing I do like is remove reflections. I think Samsung is the only one that currently has remove reflections. Other people do have other things like remove shadows, all that kind of stuff, but I don't know why you would want to remove shadows, first of all. But yeah, just interesting things. Restore picture too, which is another thing that Google has had. So these are essentially, I think, what Samsung is working on to compete with the Pixel, because their software editing is just the top notch right now. And I'm really curious to see how it'll turn out. But let me know what you guys think. Is AI something that's interesting to you in terms of making your photos and videos better? Let me know in the comments. Okay. Nvidia has officially beat Intel, Samsung, and TSMC to be the biggest cell phone, or sorry, to be the biggest chip manufacturer in the world. Now, I am curious because this one doesn't talk about MediaTek, and I know MediaTek is the biggest one in mobile in the world, but it is a bit different when they're talking about the kind of chips that they're talking about here. So, normally it's because of the GPUs that NVIDIA is known for, and that's really what has gotten a boom essentially since the pandemic and then after the pandemic. So one, GPUs were so scarce and everyone wanted to start building computers and using crypto and all this kind of stuff. So there really was a high demand for GPUs at the time. And for better or for worse, it's never gone down. While it was going down in the consumer level, now it is exponentially risen because of AI. It is something that, like, man, if you had stock in Nvidia, like, a couple years back before the pandemic, it was nowhere near this much. And then again, so during the pandemic, you saw it was keep going to keep going, and then in the beginning of 2022 and even early 23, it wasn't as good. And then bam, as soon as AI started really shooting up, which ChatGPT I feel like really was around this time frame right here, bam, it just it the possibilities of what AI could do really kind of went over up to a 206% year over year growth. So yeah, it's really going to be interesting to see how this kind of continues. And Nvidia is in just such a good spot for this because they are the main player by far in AI in terms of the GPUs that can work with it. And I am kind of worried for the consumer level because I feel like Nvidia is going to pay less and less attention to consumers that want to like build a computer now because this is just so much more profitable than that area. All right, and you might have heard a little bit about this. Essentially, this case brand, which let me know if you know any influencers that have recommended Casetify. I never have. I saw them here and there, like as they came up. They started going to lots of conventions, so they would have like booths there and showing off their Star Wars and Disney cases and all this kind of stuff. Officially licensed stuff, but this company has done some, in my opinion, pretty shady stuff. Um, so they started coming out with these teardown cases, essentially what your phone looks like on the inside, which would be fine. But how they got these images wasn't by opening a phone themselves, seeing what it is, taking images of it, and then making their own design. What they quite obviously did was take a screenshot from the website of Dbrand and put it on a case. This was a collaboration with Jerry Riggs Everything, so that got a lot of clout and claim for it. And then we're seeing even earlier ones were from a low res screenshot of iFixit. And we know this because it's not like especially for Jerry Rigs Everything, they did a lot of Easter eggs. They did like dates on certain things and did these numbers, and they were the exact same numbers. So it wasn't like what the actual phone would say inside. There was lots of fun Easter eggs that they Jerry Rigs Everything and Dbrand put in there that they literally just took. So yeah, it's really interesting in my opinion to see just how all of this kind of went down. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting. Let's go with that. I would love to know your guys' thoughts in the comments section. What do you think about this? Do you think it makes sense for from what we saw with like I don't know if this company will make it. That's my opinion on it. I just, for me, I think it's clearly you plagiarize things. I don't know who decided to make this decision, but it was quite obviously a very bad decision and made multiple times. So I probably, whoever the designer is the person I would assume to blame, but I'm not sure. but it really was just like, you could have done this the right way. You totally could have done this the right way, but you literally just did the laziest way possible, taking it quite obviously looking from their website, and that's it. So yeah, it just it seems like something that was unnecessary. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Very curious to hear them. But yeah, and do you know any influencers that really talked about them a lot? Will you let the influencers know, like, I don't recommend them now, kind of thing like that? Like, in terms of yourself, like, because I wouldn't. For me, if this was someone that I had as a sponsor, I would drop them, because it's just like, no, dude, like, no. All right, guys, but that's my thoughts on all of that stuff. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. All right, now let's get to your questions. Casetify is a billion-dollar company? I would doubt it's a billion-dollar company. They must have another part. I I would seriously doubt it's a billion-dollar company. It's a 42-year-old company that brings 300 million a year. Maybe they are worth $1 billion. Their valuation is close to $1 billion in 2021. Man, I just, quite frankly, I haven't heard of them till the past few years. I'm not sure if they started off somewhere else, but I really only started hearing about them 2 or 3 years ago. So I, yeah, I mean, they've been around for a long time, but apparently they only blew up so recently after an influx of Clash in 2021. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I just, like, they're definitely going to be sued, but like, I mean, I guess if you're not involved in the tech industry or don't really hear about them much, look, they have Disney. But that's the thing, right? That's the thing. How much would that evaluation be if Disney as a company pulled out their branding after this? It's like, I talk about in wrestling, right? Like wrestling, AEW is like, oh, AEW's, it's backed by a billionaire. There's no way it's ever going to go out of business. I'm like, what if they can't get a TV deal? It's kind of hard to run a wrestling company without a TV deal. So, like, these are things like, yes, you can imagine a company could never go out of business. They're never going to have issues. But for me, this company right now, all they have left is their brand deals. If they lose those brand deals, you don't think their revenue is going to go down extremely? You don't think they're going to have a lot of issues? Like, there is a path for a $1 billion company to go out of business. I'm not saying it's going to per se happen. I'm saying they're going to have a very rough time, and they could stick around. Look, there are plenty of companies out there that make a lot of money, but that have kind of gone away after controversies, right? Aki. Aki is a brand. They got kicked off of Amazon because they were buying reviews. They got caught on it. They were one of the ones, and plenty others, mind you. I just know about Aki because it was a tech company. And they were linked to, what was it, Tautronics, which I did recommend before because they had a really good. I remember I did one sponsorship for them. It was a router. It was the best router I had ever seen for putting placement of the 3 satellites. It was when mesh routers were first happening, and it was like the best app ever for putting like, oh, it's too far now, please go back further. Like, it was just so good. Like, I have yet to see anyone do as good of a job as them on that. But, you know Aki is still around. It does not make anywhere near the money it used to. Anywhere near the money it used to. It's tried to rebrand a couple of times to get back on Amazon. It's tried to do all this kind of stuff. But these are things that happen. Like, you can stick around and still be a company, but your heyday is gone. And there are some companies that will, in like smartphone case, there's some companies that are always going to be around. Otterbox, Spec, Incipio. These are brands that have been around since pretty much the beginning of smartphone cases. Maybe they don't have the same acclaim that they used to. LifeProof. I haven't heard about a LifeProof case in a long time. Otterbox owns them. But these are things that, like, you know, you can be around, but you might not be as popular as you once were. I think that's what's going to happen with this one. But that's my 2 cents. Um, Finally made it to Alive. Hey, Double Aaron, glad you can make it to Alive. Um, and check out the Black Friday deals if you haven't already. Yeah, go ahead and check it out. Where have I seen that phone before? You will see it in after the new year. Yeah, I'm hearing January 17th right now is the announcement date, supposedly. Gap there is where the 5G antenna is located. Thank you. See, I knew something like that was probably at the end, kind of thing like that, and that makes sense. The 5G antenna would be loaded. By the way, I'm hearing some insights from Mullet Baby. He often breaks some news with us, so I always thank him for joining us on the chat. So I'm just answering those real quick, and then I'll get back to every other comment. Um, Maybe or maybe not, and the Fold 6 might be out sooner than August in 2024. The Fold 6 might be out sooner than August, huh? Oh, man, that would be interesting. I guess they could move it up to July if the S series is moving up to January. Why not move the Fold up too 1 month? That's very interesting. Over 40,000 S23 FE sold over Thanksgiving weekend. I can totally believe that. I think it's still a deal right now. Let me go ahead and check for you guys. But one of the best deals by far that I saw was the Galaxy S23 FE. If you are looking for a gift phone that is still really good, a kid's phone, or just even a basic phone that, hey, I don't want to spend more than $500 on a phone. This is such a good deal. So it went up $50. It went up $50. It was $399 for Black Friday. It is now $449, sorry, so $50 more. But I mean, it is still a really good price. Like, and obviously you can always get an open box, but for what it has last year's Snapdragon Gen 1 processor in there. And yeah, I mean, I would definitely just like, this is such a good phone for it. 8 gigs of RAM, good camera. For the you have the 50 megapixel sensor on the regular S23. So yeah, I would just like, this is good. Bigger screen too, compared to the regular S23. So if you didn't want quite necessarily the plus screen, it's at a 6.4 inch. I want to say the Galaxy S23 is at a 6.2 inch, and then the Galaxy S23 Plus is at a 6.5, or is 6. Yeah, I don't want to say 6.5. I could be wrong on that. It's been a long time since I bought a Plus, but this is still a really good deal. I am, as you can see, building my cart for Cyber Monday to see what else I'm going to buy. But this was just such a good deal. Again, it was better for Black Friday. It was $399, so it's $50 more. But if you are still looking for one, it is not a bad deal to go with at all. I'll send you guys a link. It is an affiliate link, so if you do buy it, I do get little compensation for it, but it's still just a really good deal for the Galaxy S23 FE. All right. Let's see. Let's see. What else? I'm just gonna read one more. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions. Everybody drink. And the last thing from Mullet Baby, S24, S24 Plus, and S24 Ultra, and a S24 Mystery Edition have entered production in Thai Nujin factory. They have 24/7 security provided by the army in Vietnam. Wow. Okay. So probably nothing is going to get out now, but good to know on that. And yeah, very curious to see how that'll all go down. Very curious too on the folds coming out early. That's also kind of cool. All right. I have plans for the S25 Ultras. Got it. So gonna still wait another year. Um, I always buy the new Samsung Fold, S24, and any Google Pixel phones. Man, as bad as me are when I come to all these buying purchases, right? Um, have to have an S Pen inside would the size of the phone be bigger? It would be thicker, slightly. You're not. I mean, you're not talking about an insane amount of thickness, but it would be millimeters thicker. Um, I I have talked to someone over the past 2 weeks that held the prototype in their hand for that kind of phone, and they said it did way more than he would like. So he held a version of a foldable from Samsung with an S Pen built in and with the bigger camera, and he said that it was a bit too heavy for his liking, that it would be too heavy. I respectfully, without having held it, would be okay with that. But I understand everyone has a different preference, different priorities, different everything. For me, if I can have the all-in-one phone that would make me not use a secondary phone, right? So I'm obviously a special case where I always carry two phones with me. So I always have, one phone here, one phone here, always carry two phones with me. Um, but if I could have a phone that's so good that I might not need to have the other phone, that is a phone that I am willing to make some sacrifices for to have everything I want. It's what I used to feel about the Note series. I felt that the Note series was just perfect in that aspect, that it gave you everything. You know, people, when they said bad about it, they were like, oh, they're just throwing everything against the wall and putting it on the Note. Yeah, and it was awesome. Like, that was my whole thing. So that's my 2 cents on that. Ricky, where's your OnePlus Open? I want to upgrade to the S22 Ultra to foldable device. Which one would you recommend? So I will tell you that other influencers have absolutely loved their OnePlus Open. They love it. I will also tell you that most influencers, top influencers, over 1 million followers that I got to hang out with recently at the MediaTek event, all went back to the Samsung Fold 5. Almost all of them did. And it's just because they all unanimously pretty much said Samsung just does the software better. They just have features that are just unparalleled. And they do have S Pen support, which is more readily available. Now, for this phone, you can get an Oppo Pen basically shipped to here from China. It's I think it was around $100, so it's a pretty expensive pen. But you can have that. It is a full size kind of pen, so it's not something that you can like fit in. It doesn't have a case for it or anything like that, but it's something that is available for the OnePlus. So yeah, from what I hear, it's not as good as an S Pen, but it's there. So yeah. But that's my 2 cents on it. I will say I am kind of like I talked about this a little bit. I tried to return the OnePlus. Their customer service was a little annoying because they didn't return it when I wanted them to, and then afterward they said I was too late to return it. So I am, for lack of a better word, stuck with this phone. But then to sell this phone, most websites that I sell my phones at do not have this phone available to sell. And then the one that did had it for only $1,000. So the fact that it's so much, like, I'm not getting unfortunately as much money as I would like for it is rather annoying. So I think that's one thing that the Samsung does better as well, is it keeps its value for longer. Um, I'm so tired of these companies coming out with the same design year after year. There doesn't seem to be any innovation. It's hard. I will say, like, in terms of, yeah, like sometimes we go 2 to 3 years without any innovation in design, but there are certain features that I would say people don't notice, and it's like, man, but that's such a good feature. Um, even though I was talking crap about this phone a few seconds ago, one thing I absolutely love that I have on here, IR Blaster. Like, I missed that feature, and other reviewers kind of gloss over, like, oh, who needs an IR Blaster nowadays? If you travel and if you go to hotels, an IR Blaster is great because the hotels, usually still aren't as warm to changing the input on HDMI. That's one thing that most hotels usually don't do still. They are changing that, but it's only in newer cities. It's a thing. So like I honestly still love having an IR blaster built in. But that was one thing I liked. So there is certain innovation at times, but I think like AI is something that's pretty cool. Like with the editing with the Pixel phone, that you can just like literally move yourself or even make yourself bigger in a picture, and it does it. Like there are certain things that are really interesting about AI that have happened, but I think as we get better and better, like I think if Bigsby integrates with ChatGPT next year, essentially with Bing and ChatGPT next year, I think that will be something pretty big. So yeah. Um, let's see. It loses credibility for sure. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like it's something that is so hard to overcome, right? If you lose your credibility, it's something that's very hard to get back. Not that it's impossible. One company that I work with, Eufy, they had a scandal happen about them, right? And it was a long talk before I did the first sponsorship again with them about that scandal. And essentially, I wanted to see, what have you done since the scandal happened to make sure that I'm good with, having you as a sponsor anymore. And essentially, with Eufy, I was satisfied with the changes they made. They had the opportunity to change, and they changed. But what also saved them was, and for those who don't know the scandal, essentially they said that their stuff was never in the cloud. It was in the cloud. In order to show a notification, they couldn't encrypt it at both ends because of that. They then basically spent the extra money to encrypt it anyway, and it takes more time to get those kind of notifications with the image, but it's now done in a secure manner. But also the fact that their claim to fame has always been that they're not like Nest, they're not like Ring or Blink. That you have to, or sorry, Ring. I don't think Blink does. I'm not sure if Blink does, but they're not like Ring or Nest, which they are the best security camera company that you do not have to have a subscription for. You have built-in storage. You can get a terabyte storage like I do, and have plenty of storage for all of your cameras without needing it to be online and paying for cloud storage. Um, but I think the biggest thing that saved Eufy, to be quite honest, was the fact that a company, say like their closest rival would have been TP Link or their Topo series, they didn't capitalize on it. If TP Link would have boom hit all cylinders and really launch a lot of like every copied it basically, right? Every kind of security camera that Eufy had and did it, I think they could have seriously put a lot of damage to Eufy. The fact that Eufy changed things and no one capitalized on their issue while they had it and while they were regaining trust is what saved them. And so those are the kind of things that like if a company can, I admit I was wrong. Here's the steps I'm taking to resolve it. I have fixed the problem. I'm doing that. We can trust it again, kind of thing like that. Much like Linus did too, right? He had a scandal. He made these changes, and everyone was like, okay, we're still behind you, and that's kind of a lot of the things that about it. So yeah. Let's see. Seems pretty shady. Hey Ricky, what's your thoughts on CM Punk showing up at War Games? So in terms of wrestling, when that happened, I hated it. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I was like, my wife came in and she was like, "Oh man, you were so happy," because I was happy with the Randy Orton RKO from the top rope, all that kind, awesome, awesome. And when I saw, it, I was like, no, like that was literally my reaction. I was like, no, like I just he's drama. I can't stand them. And I didn't grow up with them. I think if you grow up with something and it's nostalgic, then you feel something about it. I'm happy to be proven wrong. We'll see what happens. But I they didn't need them. That was my opinion on it. It still is, but we'll see. It was mentioned in Jerry's rig video. I guess they've been around for years. Never bought any cases from them. I use Subcase, Spigen mostly for me. Um, what about Akko phone insurance? Are they trustworthy? I have never heard about them. T-Mobile's insurance is too expensive. So yeah, I've always it's not practical. I will say that first and foremost. I've never heard of Akko. I'm on their website right now. So $15 a month, it does all your electronics. I would want to see so much fine print in that. Um, I've never heard of it, so I don't know about this company. But okay, so for phone only, it's $5 a month. Um, I mean, $5 a month is good against breaks, damage. Um, so $10 a month is really good if it supports multiple phones, right? So you can have like two or three phones, and it supports theft. I would actually say $10 is better than the $5 for that because it supports multiple phones. So like if I get it for my household, right? $10 a month, that is going to be $120 a year. That might be better to do it that way. What I was gonna say was like for us, like insurance used to be $5 per phone, right? So I think at T-Mobile, or Verizon when I was on there. So for me, it was like, well, okay, so $5, right? Times say there was four phones on there. That's $20 times 12. That's 240. Um, and then it wasn't actually that. Maybe as I got more to five or six phones. But basically, what I had thought was my whole thought process was, hey, why don't we just save money, right? Why don't we maybe each save $20, right? For the like each put aside $20 for 1 year. All of us put $20 aside for 1 year. Then it would be 20 times four times 12, and that is $960. So if all of us in my family did that, right? Four people at the time did that for four phones, that'd be $960 by the end of the year. That means that after 1 year, we could kind of have a savings for a cell phone. Great. So that savings for a cell phone will not be touched. But if one of us breaks it or if one of us loses it, bam, we're covered. Because we just take that $960. Okay, you can now buy a new phone. And then if that happens, then that is obviously taken into account that one, only one person would break or lose their phone in a year's time. And two, that you would have people that would be responsible enough to be okay with that and do that and all that kind of stuff in the family. Not going to work for everyone, but that was what essentially I ended up doing before, and then I end up getting so many free phones from manufacturers that it didn't matter anymore. So that was what I did for a long time. Aku looks, I mean, I don't know the company. I don't know the company. But if you're asking me, like, just looking at this, right, this seems like a great package. $10 a month, I get protection for damage, breakdown, and theft for multiple phones. That looks like a great one. I would have no problem with that. I think that is fine. Um, I don't. Yeah, I don't care about this one that much. Don't care about this one. Like, I guess if you're protecting your TV, sure, but again, like for $50 a month, I just don't like even this one, $25 a month. That is 25, times 12. That's $300 you're paying. So if nothing happens in a year, you've just spent $300 for nothing. Um, So I find the other ones more hard to deal with. This is the one that I would say is the most appealing to me. $10 a month for multiple phones seems good, and that's the one I would probably, just looking at their plans. That's the one I would probably choose. Um, More weight on a phone, bring it on. I have Casetify case, love it, best case I ever had. Should I change my case? What are your thoughts? No, I don't think you should change. Nothing was wrong of the quality of their case. So first and foremost, that's to be said. It's just what they did was shady. What they did was wrong. I think almost objectively. I don't even think it's subjectively. I would say it's objectively wrong to just literally take a screenshot of someone else's work and then sell that as your own, like verbatim. Didn't even make changes that you probably should have to make it look different. Especially because Dbrand also sells a case version of it. Like they literally sell the same product, so they just kind of copied it, pasted onto theirs, and that was it. So I don't think that like their quality is in question. At least like I haven't used them, so I don't know. But yeah, that's my thing. Um, Ire Blaster's always a good thing to have. I miss Ire Blaster. Yep, I do too. It was something that I was happy to see again. Can you make a free QR code on your phone? I mean, there's plenty of websites to make free QR codes. I know Samsung has one for when you do link share. When you do, or is it link share now? I forget what it's called now. It's so many different names. Um, when you do quick share, it says right at the top by using a QR code. So that is when you can do it, and it makes a QR code just like that for you. So yeah. Um, I pay $42 a month for 4 phones through Aku. Wait, why are you paying $42 a month though? It says $10. Is there like hidden costs there that I'm not seeing? I am very curious now. Why are you paying more than I saw? Does it depend on, was that basically a, oh, wait a minute. So this is actually like I just put 2 phones here. So this is actually non-phone item deductibles are, yeah, see, so you're paying $42 a month. Yeah, so I see it changed once I actually put phones on there. So yeah, look, if you're paying $42 a month times 12, that's $504. Like, I don't know, you know your family members best. Like, I feel like you could do $50, 12 months, that'll be $600, and that could buy most phones that would be the same kind of quality or age as this. So I probably wouldn't recommend doing it at that price. Not, I mean, not me, but again, it depends. If you couldn't kind of put it away and forget about it, like that's the idea behind it. Like put $50 a month away, forget about it, and then you have a savings of $600 put aside for a phone replacement for any member of the family or any member on there, and that's what I would do. Um, yeah, personally. Um, Verizon and AT&T signed a contract with Best Buy to run a test to see which carrier gets the rights to be the only service sold at Best Buy nationally. Either wins gets 1,000 locations. Wow. If Best Buy picks a carrier only model, unlocked phones will move to online order virtual store. Samsung will be forced to give up unlock headsets at all Best Buys sometime in 2024. Wow. That is crazy. Why? Like, oh man, that is crazy. I yeah, I don't know why. Why would you do that? Um, Ricky, over to the S23 Ultra. Thank you. Need case help. Sup Unicorn. The Sup Unicorn Beetle Ultra is too big. I love the protection. What slimmer cases would you give good drop protection? So Unicorn Beetle is one of the heavy durability. It's like the OtterBox cases, right? So first and foremost, I think that is one thing that I would consider. So let's go to Amazon real quick. Let's see Galaxy S23 Ultra OtterBox. Um, so the Defender is pretty much as big as the Unicorn Beetle. The Commuter is a good one. That would be slightly smaller than the Unicorn Beetle. And then the Symmetry is going to be the one that I was going to be thinking of that really could have a great form of drop protection as well as giving you all the material you need. So yeah, so first I would go with the Commuter, which is this one, and then the Symmetry, which comes in a lot of different styles and cases and all that kind of stuff, is another really good one with a smaller design. But again, it's OtterBox. There's no brand that I think is going to be better at drop protection than OtterBox for the most part, just because they've been doing it longer than anyone else. So those are the ones I would recommend for durability first, like drop protection first. Um, yeah, those are the. I'm trying to think of what other one I would really recommend for protection more so than anything else. Like that's what I would recommend for my brother because he drops his phone more than I do. Or like my kids even. S23. I mean, Spec has usually good protection cases. Um, yeah, like this one as well, and this one has such a good grip. Always love this for grip protection, and I'm wondering if it tells the drop protection on here, but 13 feet drop protection. Yeah, they've only gotten better. So this is another one I would really recommend for the drop protection. Reason we were told either Verizon or AT&T will have to provide headset inventory for Best Buy so they don't have to spend the cash for inventory. I mean that makes sense, right? Like if it's if they're all unlocked phones and you just have to provide SIM cards, I think everyone wins in that sense. But yeah, it's still but no, because they're not going to sell unlocked phones. I don't know. It's so weird. How are you enjoying the game launcher? I mean, Game Hub. I mean, it's the same exact thing, just a different name. I like I said, I probably will not have the Game Hub in my next Samsung phone. Right now, it's only there for convenience, but yeah, I probably won't have it in my next phone. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I didn't go back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have a Z Fold 2 Pixel 6a. Hey Ricky, why most Chinese smartwatches have 2 weeks battery life and where more Samsung and Apple suck on their horrible battery life? I mean, get a Fitbit. Fitbits had like a week battery life. The reason why is because they can do less. The more sensors in there, the more as an operating system you put in there to work with a phone, the less battery you had. That's plain and simple. TicWatch has like a dual screen one that does last longer as well. I think that's probably the longest Android based one. TicWatch. Um, but let's see. TicWatch Pro, TicWatch Ultra. Okay, so I think these are the current ones. So this one has 80 hours battery life. Dual display, yeah, to extend it, so you can basically use the non-display that uses that much energy to get longer battery life. So that's 80 hours. So past 3 days, and then this one up to a 45-day battery life on the Ultra, and again, it's with the the backlit screen that they have, which can be very low consumption. So yeah, and these aren't Chinese watches; they're U.S. ones, and they actually do have connect more easily with Android. I believe they connect with iOS too, but yeah, and it does run Wear OS as well. So yeah, if you want ones that'll last longer, here they are. All right. The providers will have to pay for the labor training benefits of the employees. Apple only sells carrier phones at Best Buy. They make up 60% of Best Buy mobile sales in 2023. I'm so interested in that. I see. Well, my wife's having trouble shooting connecting her Fitbit to the Google Pixel 8 Pro. Any tips? I unfortunately have never had a Fitbit, so I cannot say so. Um, I know it's a cliche, but the thing I would recommend doing is resetting it. The Fitbit itself, charging it all the way to 100%, connecting the two, and seeing if that works. Uninstalling the Fitbit apps too, and reinstalling it. Ricky, what about screen protectors? There are so many. Are you talking about for the S23? So most people know I am a big fan of Whitestone dome glass. Galaxy S23 Ultra. So the one that I would recommend, and I'm still sharing, cool, is the one that you can see I've bought myself multiple times actually. Um, there is um, they do make another version of it, but I can't find it. But so this one, it's on sale right now for $31. It comes in a 2 pack, and it's literally the one I have on my screen right now. Whitestone Dome Glass. It is a little hard to put it on the first times, but that is one that I would recommend. It's just the best screen protector out there. Um, Whitestone Easy. They have an alternative one. That's the plus variant. Uh, Maybe they don't make it for the S23 Ultra. Yeah, see, they have one like this for the other ones, but not. They might just not make it for the S23 Ultra, is what I'm seeing. Because I see it for the Plus and the regular, but yeah, not the Ultra. The other one that I would recommend is that's okay. I get it from time to time, especially for my daughter. This is a cheaper one. It's not as good quality, but the Spigen one. My daughter goes through screen protectors a little bit more often than I would like. So I would say Bless. Sorry. um. Ooh, maybe they don't have this one anymore. Did they not? I think they're sold out. Maybe there was just a sale on them and they sold out. But Speaking is the other one that I would recommend, but I don't see it right now, so I'm guessing it's sold out. But that is the other one. This is a film, by the way. I don't recommend film. I like screen protectors better. But Speaking is the other one that I would probably recommend. That fairly affordable, but definitely not as good quality, especially when it comes to fingerprint and the fingerprint scanner. Uh, let's see. Wow, I get a few days on my Galaxy Watch 6 Classic. Yeah, I get about 2 days to 3 days on the Classic for the most part. At the Samsung F1 party at Resort World last week, your channel was mentioned as one of the most watched by Samsung employees. What? Really? That's crazy. What? That's crazy. Um, so are you saying it's not worth having Game Hub? I'm thinking about getting rid of it. I would say no. Like, I just hate what it's turned into. It's more about advertising the games now than actually your own game. So I really hate that. So I'm not as happy about it. All right, guys. I think we will call that a show. I do have to get watching my son now. But thank you guys so much for watching. As always, really do appreciate it. I will catch you guys next week, as always, too. And hope you have a fun Cyber Monday. If you have any deals that you really want me to check out for you, hit me up on X, YouTube, or Instagram, and I'll see if I can find a deal for you. Thank you guys always so much for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you so much again for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below. Also, follow us on social media at YouTube Tech Guy, and check out some more great tech videos on your screen or